This is very subtle. There's a level of humility that we all have to bring to this. It includes me. For me to be able to teach you in the way that I'm teaching, there's a level of humility I have to bring to my own teaching function. And there's also a level of trust. And on all my long retreats I speak about, it's a trust in what you can't see, it's trust in what the mind can't see and what the mind can't know. So the contemplation of zero, right? You can say contemplation of zero, but contemplation of zero equals trusting in something you can't understand and you can't see and the mind's never going to know, and staying focused on that. And you have to get to the point where you're trusting in that. So all of this, and this includes me, this applies directly to me, to enable me to be able to teach you in the way that I'm teaching you. If you feel that my teaching is powerful and profound and real and spontaneous and real, it's because of my ability to abide in this zero point. That's what makes it possible for me to teach this way. Otherwise, I would be giving you canned. What I'd be giving you is canned teaching, which is, it's more or less prepared, even if it's good. And it's just the same old thing, and I'm not teaching that way. I have students here that have known me for 25 years, and they're on the edge of their seat. Now, if I can keep people on the edge of their seat after 25 years, I must be doing something right. You follow? Because what is he going to say next? That if it's 25 or 26 years later and I can do that, it means something, that I'm onto something. Now, the reason I can do that is because of this zero point that I'm asking you to look into. I'm doing it myself. So all of this. So if you find yourself having trouble, experiencing some frustration, and then starting to try and figure it out yourself, don't do it. You can't figure this out. You'll never be able to figure it out. I can't figure it out. The only reason I can teach you in this way is because I trust in what I can't see and what I don't know. So because I trust in what I can't see and what I don't know, I can teach you in this way. I know it looks that I prepared all this. I haven't prepared any of this. But because I trust, because of my trust in what I can't see and what I don't know, which means contemplation of zero, I can teach this way. So there is no other way to get there. So if you're having some frustration, it doesn't matter. It is frustrating. It can be frustrating, but even the frustration itself is totally irrelevant. It doesn't make any difference. You mustn't let it be a problem. But the contemplation of zero is the contemplation of zero. It's not the contemplation of right method, wrong method. I did it right yesterday, I'm doing it wrong today. That's all just mind garbage. You understand? It's endless, beginningless and endless mind garbage. It has nothing to do with anything important. In this particular context of trying to understand non-duality. It doesn't matter. It's all just subterfuge. You follow? So we're going from, just like I was saying, you're going from the ego to the soul to this to this deepest dimension where the mind is gone. So the only way to do it is zero or nothing whatsoever, or no relationship has to become your constant reference point. Now, when you're being introduced to zero or no relationship, it feels very technical, even though it's not. But when you become familiar with zero or no reference point, you just relax right into it. That's it. You relax into not knowing anything. It becomes very easy, very natural, very spontaneous, and you're not worried. You're just not worried because you just relax into not knowing anything. That becomes just an easy, very familiar reference point. That's your seat. You follow? You're not struggling with it anymore. And even if you do struggle with it, that doesn't matter anyway. None of it matters. You see, everything becomes irrelevant. And that's the thing that nobody wants to get, that everything becomes irrelevant in light of this. Because remember, I'm philosophically and intellectually making very clear distinctions that I think many of you miss. So when you go from a relative to a non-relative absolute, you're entering into there's different dimensions that at a deepest level there's no relationship between the two. And that's what we can't get, because we're used to thinking in linear, of linear progressive development, but we're talking about a leap here. There's a quantum leap from one dimension to another. So there's literally no connection between one world, in this case, in the way I'm describing, and another. So if you allow your mind to convince you that it knows about this other world, this other realm, this other dimension, you're just wasting time. It doesn't know. You don't have to stop your mind. You just stop listening, because it's completely irrelevant. It doesn't make any difference. And if your mind wants to go on a little journey there, you can let it go, because it's irrelevant. And I'm going to repeat this until the day I drop dead. But I mean, you're just wasting time. It really makes, whatever your mind says about it, it doesn't matter. You're doing very good today. You're doing very bad today. This is right. This is right. This is wrong. It's all just mind garbage. It's completely unrelated to that kind of depth. There's no connection to that kind of depth. There's no meeting point. There's no place where there's no connection. You see? Do you understand that there's no connection between your mental world and this non-dual emptiness? There is no connection between your mental world and the non-dual emptiness. There's no connection between your mental world and the non-dual emptiness. So just forget it. The thing is, once you understand this, you don't have to worry about your mind anymore in the same way, because it's just your stupid mind. Blah, blah, blah. But it's just mind garbage. It doesn't matter. So it makes it easy to meditate then. It's easy to meditate, and if the meditation is easy, that's fine. And if it's difficult, it's fine too, because that doesn't make any difference. Even if your mind's wandering, even if your mind is busy, even if your mind is frustrated, that doesn't matter anyway, because it can't touch the non-dual ground of emptiness itself. It can't touch it. So even if your surface personality is suffering a little bit because your mind is busy, that doesn't matter either. Do you get it? It really doesn't make any difference. It'll make a difference to you if you choose, in your ignorance, to make a problem out of it. So if you make a problem out of it, then you will suffer. Doesn't that seem like a stupid thing to do? Yes. I know this is difficult, and I know it's very subtle. I know it's hard to get, but it is what it is. But you get the point I'm making? Huh? It should be very liberating if you really get it. Huh? I'm trying to make your life easy. I'm trying to make it easier for you. So from a certain point of view, it really doesn't matter what your experience is. You follow? Can you handle that? Can your ego handle that? It doesn't matter what your experience is. The ego finds that really hard to handle. What does that mean? It doesn't. People say, oh, well, if I'm going to have a meditation experience, it should be peaceful, it should be blissful, it should be all these things. Well, maybe, but maybe not, Are you a peaceful, blissful person? So you're probably not a peaceful, blissful person. So if you bring to me all of your chaos and all of your insecurity and all of your resentment and all of your longing and all these things, which all of you do in one way or the other bring, then that is all going on. Just because you decide to have no relationship to the content of consciousness doesn't mean that all that chaos is just going to take a hike. You understand that? So at the beginning, the experiences of peace and joy and quietness and bliss and ecstasy, they convince you of something about these deeper dimensions. But you have to get to a point eventually when that doesn't even matter. And what your mind is doing does not matter, because it has no effect. It can't have any effect, and therefore it's irrelevant. So the maturity in this would be, if you realize that it doesn't make any difference, right? Then you can sit very easily.